Have you ever wanted to know how to memorize the periodic table of elements, all 118 of them? Well, I'm going to show you how to do the first 10 here and then apply the same technique to the rest of them. Memory Master Champion Lewis Angel right here with AE Mind, and I'm going to be teaching you today how to memorize the first 10 elements on the periodic table of elements. How cool would it be to go to your chemistry teacher tomorrow in the next few days and just rattle off all of the elements from the periodic table of elements from memory? And you can say them forwards, backwards, by number. If they ask you, what's the sixth element? You'll be able to say carbon. What's the first element? You'll be able to say hydrogen. You'll know that the 47th element is silver and the 79th element is gold. Two of my favorite elements on the table. Remember that you can get the free Better Memory Now ebook, the complete ebook, on my website at aemind.com. You can get that right now. I can go over all of the memory techniques I'm going to be teaching you here today in that book and show you how to apply them to every other subject and area that you want to learn faster and much more quickly. Now, in order for you to learn anything very quickly, you need to become a creative storyteller. And that's where you visualize the information that you want to remember. Now, there are 3 steps to help you with this process. The first step is that you need a location. You need to be able to place the information that you want to memorize along a specific memory palace in your mind. And I'll help you create one of those if you haven't done so already. If you already have a memory palace, you can actually skip ahead to where I show you my associations, but I'm going to give a quick rundown on how to do that right now. The second step is to visualize the information very clearly in your head. I like to create associations and then place those images along that route that we created. And now step 3 is going to be to review. In order for you to move anything from short-term memory to long-term memory, you need to review that information. So we'll go through that as well. Again, we're going to do a quick memory palace review right now. So what I want you to do is get a sheet of paper, draw a square, and then divide it by 4 equal sections. And if you want to do a 5th one off to the side, you can as well. Each one of these sections is going to represent a room in your home. So the first one, you can label it maybe on the top left. Room 1 could be like the living room. You walk into your home and the first room that you see here is the living room. Or maybe it's the dining room. So whatever that is for you, jot that down. For me, it's a living room. And then you move on going clockwise, going to your second room. The second room could be the kitchen. It could be the bathroom. It could be a bedroom. So whatever you decide, choose that for your next second room, third, fourth, and if you have a 5th one that you want to choose, go ahead and do that right there as well. Now let's focus right now on the first room. So for me, it's a living room. I'll give you my 5 locations. So whenever I walk into the living room, I look off to the left and I see a window. So what is that first location for you? Jot that down. Second for me would be a table. Third, sofa. 4th is a mirror, and 5th is a TV. So those are my first 5 locations. What are they for you? You can choose something big, like big pieces of furniture, something smaller, but I wouldn't choose something very miniature that moves around like toy cars. If you have a pile of toy cars in the corner, maybe don't choose that as your stable location right now. Choose something that's always there and you're always going to see whenever you walk into this room. Once you're done with that, repeat this process for the next several rooms, and we can go on with learning how to memorize the periodic table of elements. So now that you have your locations created, go through them forwards, backwards, by number. What's your second location? What about your 5th one? All right, you got that down. Now, we take the information here, which is hydrogen. This is the first element on the table, hydrogen. And then you want to ask yourself, what does this remind me of? Hydrogen. When I hear hydrogen, what do I picture in my mind? Well, I like to picture a fire hydrant. So a hydrant for hydrogen. Hydrogen, hydrant. Now what you want to do is get your locations. So what's your first location? For me, it's a window. So what I'll do is maybe throw a fire hydrant right through the window, breaks the glass, and then water just starts spewing all over that area of the window. So whatever you see on that location, your first location, make sure to associate the hydrogen doing some type of action on that location and make it as strong and as vivid as you possibly can. Maybe add some more characters. Maybe your mom comes into the room, starts yelling at you. You're like, Mom, it wasn't me. I don't know why it happened. So whatever you want to add that to this story that we're creating here. And then whenever you want to retrieve that, you just go back to that location, location number 1. What happened here? kind of play that movie in reverse, maybe forward, backward, and then see what happened. Okay, something broke through that window. What was it? That's right, it was a fire hydrant. Somebody got mad here for doing that. Water spewed everywhere. And then you translate it back into the information, which is hydrogen. All right, pretty simple process. Now we're going to go through this a little faster now that you get the hang of it. So number 2 is helium. He is a symbol as well. Helium, number 2. And we're going to picture helium balloons. Helium balloons for the second location here because it's going to represent the second element on the table. So wrap that around your second location. What is that for you? For me, it's a table. So I wrap around birthday balloons around and around this table. And then you start seeing the table being lifted because there's all these helium balloons lifting up the table. And they start popping. Pop, 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 pop. So see that very clearly in your mind. Helium balloons on your second location. For me, it's a table. What is it for you? Now, here is a bonus tip for you. Bonus, bonus, bonus. Now, others that have gone through this process already know, so you can just skip on to number 3. But if you don't know yet, you can actually store 2 images on one location. Now, that will require for you to get a better grasp on your locations and also to do a little bit of math when you're coming up with the actual item or piece of information on that location number. What I mean by that is that you can store 2 images on one location so that you can essentially increase your capacity here. So for the first 2 elements, we have what? Hydrant and balloons, helium balloons. So you can store those 2. Maybe the helium balloons are wrapped around the fire hydrant and that gets thrown into the window. But then instead of bouncing on the floor, it just flies away into the sky because of the helium balloons. So you can see something like that clearly associated to that first location in your mind. And then when you want to retrieve it, you just ask yourself, okay, what was the first thing here? Okay, it was a hydrant. Second thing, balloons. Boom, 1 and number 2. And you can keep doing that for the rest. This is a bonus advanced tip. Only do this if you're already really familiar with your locations. If you're not, this is your first time doing this, I wouldn't recommend for you to do that. Just do 1 image per location. All right, move on to number 3. The third element here is lithium. I like to picture lithium batteries for, well, lithium. So see a battery pack for that and then store it on your third location. What is that location for you? For me, it's a sofa or a couch. So I like to picture me just stuffing a bunch of lithium batteries onto that couch, and then the couch just starts getting like really hyper and bouncing around up and down, up and down, up and down because of the lithium battery packs that I just inserted into the couch. So see whatever it is that your location is. So see the lithium batteries on there doing something. Number 4 is beryllium. I like to picture berries and lamb for beryllium. So go to your 4th location. For me, it's a mirror. And then see berries and lamb. So there's a lot of berries all over the 4th location. Blueberries, strawberries. So you see all of them blackberries there. And then you see a lamb going down there and eating all of the berries on that location. So whatever your 4th location is, see berries and lamb interacting with that location. Number 5, boron. Boron for number 5. I like to picture a boar running, boron, boar running on my 5th location. A boar is, picture a pig, like a wild pig for boar, and then it's just running on your 5th location. For me, it's a TV, so I'll see boar running on the 5th location. So see that running all around that location. You're doing great here. We're going to do the last 5. We're going to go through these faster. I'm going to give you just my image associations. I want you to store them on your location. So your 6th one, whatever that is for you, go to that room. For me, it would be the toilet. So I would see that image association on the toilet doing something. So I'm just going to give you the association. We're going to move through these a lot faster now. 6 is carbon. I like to picture cardboard for carbon, and I'll see cardboard on my 6th location. I'll help you out with this one. So maybe picture you're stuffing it down the toilet. You're trying to flush cardboard down the toilet, and then you see it just rolling round and round in that toilet. So cardboard, toilet. Well, for me, it's a toilet. Whatever your 6th location is, picture the cardboard doing something on that location. Nitrogen, number 7. I like to picture a Nos tank. Nos, like nitric oxide, that makes cars go a lot faster. So see a Nos tank for number 7 and see that interacting with your 7th location. Nitrogen, Nos Tank. Number 8 is oxygen. I like to picture an oxygen mask and a tank as well. Oxygen mask is the main one here, just so that I won't get it confused with the 7th one, nitrogen. So an oxygen mask for oxygen, and see that on your 8th location. So what is your 8th location? See yourself, maybe somebody that you love there, maybe grandma or grandpa has an oxygen mask and they're sitting on that location. Number 9 is fluorine. So jump over to your 9th location, and then I want you to see flour being poured all over it. So it's flour pouring. Flour like cooking flour or baking flour, Flour. So see flour being poured all over that 9th location, and you're spreading it around with your hands. So what is that location for you? See flour pouring for fluorine. Number 10 here. 10 is neon. So see a bright, glowing neon sign, open sign on your 10th location. So what is that location for you? See that open sign, that neon open sign just glowing all over that location. We're going to do a review right now. Remember that you can get the free Better Memory Guide and ebook at aemind.com. All right, let's go right into this. Number 1. Do you remember number 1? What was it? Go to your first location. That's right, we saw a fire hydrant on there. So hydrogen for number 1. Number 2. What's number 2? We saw balloons, helium balloons. Number 2 is helium. Number 3. For me, it was a couch. So I look at the couch. I see it jumping up and down because it had a bunch of lithium batteries and it was powering and charging up that couch, that sofa. So number 3 is lithium. Number 4, go to that 4th location. Or 2, if you were doing that advanced tip and you wanted to store 2 images per location, this would be on your 2nd location. So go to that 2nd image on that location. Or for the rest of us, go to your 4th location overall. And we see berries and a lamb on that location. So the element is beryllium. 5. For me, the 5th location is a TV. So I would see a boar running, a pig, a wild pig, boar running on that location. So number 5, the 5th element is boron. I love that movie, The 5th Element. Very futuristic. Now we go on to the 2nd room, 6th location overall. For me, it's a toilet. So I saw cardboard trying to be flushed down that toilet. So cardboard, I translate that back into the information here, the data point, which is carbon. Carbon number 6. For number 7, it's Fast and the Furious. It's a Nos Tank to make your car go faster. So we translate that back into the information, which is nitrogen. Number 7 is nitrogen. Number 8, we all need this. Grandma and grandpa need this going through their mask. It's an oxygen mask, right? So we have oxygen for number 8 on your 8th location. Number 9, what was number 9? Go to your 9th location. Bring up the items that you saw here, the images that you saw interacting with the 9th location. We saw flour being poured all over this location. So that is fluorine. Fluorine number 9. And number 10, we see a bright neon sign on the 10th location. Number 10, the 10th element is neon. There you go. You just completed this, the first 10 elements on the periodic table of elements. You can now do this for all of them, all 118. Memorize them all, memorize them by number, go through them forwards and backwards and by number, and be able to see if your chemistry teacher can do the same thing. You can compete against him in front of the whole class. I've actually done this to other students. I've taught them how to do this, and then they go up to the chemistry teacher, and then the student always wins because the teacher has to look at that chart in order to know these elements in order. So you can learn it by going through a jingle or a song, but at the end of the day, there's just nothing that compares to using this technique and this method of memorization to be able to just go and jump right into a specific location to retrieve whatever element you put there instead of having to repeat the whole song all over again to get to maybe the 7th one or the 22nd or the 47th or the 118th element. So for this, all you got to do is go to your 7th location, see whatever you did there, see nitric oxide tank, boom, pop it out, and that is nitrogen. 10th location, that's neon. Second one, what was that? You saw a bunch of balloons, helium for number 2. There you go. Get the free Better Memory guide and ebook at aemind.com, and I'll see you on the next one. Keep learning, keep growing. We're out.